This video is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
I never look back, darling. It distracts from the now.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 21 best Disney movies of each year.
This story's about me, not him. Okay, you got it? All right, we're gonna move ahead. Sorry to slow you down.
Let it go, when I rise like the break of dawn.
It is wonderful to see you.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
For this list, we'll be going through 2000 to 2020, singling out the best Disney movie of each year. We'll be including animated and live-action Disney films, as well as Pixar. However, we're leaving off MCU and Star Wars flicks because that would make it way too hard to narrow things down. What's your favorite Disney movie of the past 21 years? Let us know in the comments. 2000. The Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, right. The poison for Cusco. The poison chosen specially to kill Cusco. Cusco's poison. Fat poison?
Yes, that poison.
Originally envisioned as an epic musical take on The Prince and the Pauper, this film evolved into a buddy comedy about a peasant and an emperor turned llama.
Uh-oh.
Don't tell me. We're about to go over a huge waterfall.
Yep.
Sharp rocks at the bottom?
Most likely.
Bring it on.
While we'll always be curious about that original version, it's hard to find fault in the cult classic we got. With fast-paced slapstick and sharp fourth wall breaks, The Emperor's New Groove felt less like a traditional Disney film and more like a Warner Brothers cartoon.
This story's about me, not him. Okay, you got it? All right, we're gonna move ahead. Sorry to slow you down.
Makes sense, seeing how director Mark Dindal also made Cats Don't Dance. Released on the heels of several heavy-handed Renaissance pictures, the film received mixed reviews upon release.
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
In hindsight, however, it was a breath of fresh air that allowed Disney animators to get silly and score some of the studio's biggest laughs. 2001, Monsters, Inc. Speaking of unconventional Disney films, Atlantis: The Lost Empire was another one that took time to develop its cult following.
Pause for effect.
Monsters, Inc., meanwhile, was a certified hit coming out of the gate, continuing Pixar's winning streak.
I'm in this one. I'm in this one.
This film pulls back the emerald curtain, or we guess the wooden door, revealing what monsters do when they aren't frightening children. The explanation that Pixar gives us is inventive and endlessly charming, and at the center is one of animation's most memorable duos.
I'm glad you came back, Mike. Somebody's got to take care of you, you big hairball.
It's the dynamic between John Goodman's Sully and Billy Crystal's Mike that made Monsters, Inc. an instant classic.
It's a musical. Yeah, put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. So help me, and cut.
It went on to become the highest-grossing animated feature of the year, while The Princess Diaries grew into a sleeper hit for Disney.
My expectation in life is to be invisible, and I'm good at it.
2002, Lilo and Stitch. After the 90s Renaissance, Disney feature animation's output became more uneven in the 2000s.
I'm just plumb out of ideas.
Lilo and Stitch was definitely a high point, however, emerging as one of the studio's biggest critical and financial successes of the decade.
Ohana means family. Family means nobody gets
left behind.
Or
forgotten. I know.
Lilo and Stitch stood out from past Disney films with a contemporary setting and blend of sci-fi comedy. The titular pair are, of course, a big part of what made the film so unique. Lilo ranks among the most well-defined protagonists that Disney has ever given us, and there isn't a character in the whole Disney library quite like Stitch.
Does it have to be this dog?
yes, he's good. I can tell.
The way that Lilo and her sister Nani cope with the loss of their parents was also a welcome change of pace, creating one of Disney's most realistic sibling dynamics.
We're sisters. It's our job.
Yeah, well, from now on.
I like you better as a sister than a mom.
2003, Finding Nemo.
When life gets you down, you know what you gotta do?
I don't want to know what you gotta do.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. What do? We swim.
2003 was an especially strong year for Disney. On the live-action front, they had Holes, Freaky Friday, and a little movie called Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl.
But you have heard of me.
In the animation realm, Brother Bear took us to the mountain where the northern lights touch the earth, but it was a trip under the sea that elevated animation to new heights.
When you said you wanted an ocean view, you didn't think you were going to get the whole ocean, did you?
Where many movies come and go from theaters, Finding Nemo remained in the domestic top 10 for 11 weeks, eventually surpassing The Lion King as the highest-grossing animated film at the time. The movie kept audiences coming back with its dazzling visuals, lovable characters, and inspirational story.
But dude, how do you know when they're ready?
Well, you never really know, but when they know, you'll know, you know?
The film will enchant you with its underwater locales, while simultaneously turning on the waterworks.
Daddy?
Oh, thank goodness.
Dad, I don't hate you.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry, Nemo.
2004, The Incredibles. 5 movies in, Pixar had already tackled toys, bugs, monsters, and fish, but The Incredibles was their first feature to primarily center on humans, albeit superhumans.
You want me to intervene? Okay, I'm intervening.
Sister Violet, let go of your brother.
It was also the first time that the studio handed directorial duties to an outsider, although Brad Bird had more than proven himself with films like The Iron Giant and shows like The Simpsons. While Bird originally envisioned The Incredibles as a 2D feature, his characters and world translated beautifully into the third dimension.
I never look back, darling. It distracts from the now.
Of course, this is one animated film where just as much thought went into the script, if not more. The Incredibles works as a spy thriller, a superhero homage, and a family dramedy that's as hilarious as it is relatable.
I love you.
Whoa. 2005, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Well, I was hiding in the wardrobe in the spare room.
Spare room? Is that in Narnia?
Narnia? What's that?
Oh, dear girl, you're in it.
C.S. Lewis's classic fantasy novel had previously been adapted for television on 3 occasions, but Disney's version is the definitive journey through the wardrobe. By 2005, the technology available had finally caught up to Lewis's imagination, making Narnia and its inhabitants roar to life. The special effects, set design, and Oscar-winning makeup effects never overshadow the pitch-perfect casting, though. The 4 Pevensey siblings all fit the bill, especially young Georgie Henley as Lucy.
I'm sure it's just your imagination.
I don't suppose saying we're sorry would quite cover it.
The 2 standouts are James McAvoy as Mr. Tumnus and Tilda Swinton as the White Witch, who are exactly as we envisioned them reading the source material. As far as high fantasies go, this may be the closest Disney has come to replicating the magic of The Lord of the Rings.
For Narnia! And
for 2006, Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest.
And there will come a moment when you have a chance to show it. To do the right thing.
I love those moments. I like to wave at them as they pass by.
While the original film is still the franchise's best outing, Dead Man's Chest is seriously one of Disney's most underrated sequels. Granted, the film was a massive blockbuster, the biggest of 2006 as a matter of fact. Yet, audiences sometimes take for granted just how funny the one-liners are, how innovative the action is, and how visually interesting the picture can be.
You actually were telling the truth.
I do that quite a lot. Yet people are always surprised.
The only entry in the Pirate series to win an Oscar, you can definitely see why the special effects team brought home the gold. Even years later, we're still blown away by the motion capture technology behind Davy Jones.
Life is cruel. Why should the afterlife be any different?
With the thrills of Temple of Doom and an ending reminiscent of The Empire Strikes Back, it's a follow-up that deserves a lot more love. 2007, Enchanted.
Where did you send her?
To a place where there are no happily ever afters.
Given Pixar's track record, it came as no surprise that Ratatouille was another winner, both at the box office and the Academy Awards.
And your
must not let anyone define your limits because of where you come from. Your only limit is your soul.
Enchanted caught us off guard, though, with its self-aware humor and sweet love story. For years, we'd been eager for Disney to make another musical fairy tale in the spirit of their animated classics. Enchanted delivered, with several twists.
To finish.
What's wrong?
You're not singing.
Oh. I'm not.
Although the film is primarily live action and starts off as a full-blown parody, it comes to embrace Disney's key ingredients while also evolving tropes that modern viewers might construe as dated.
You're gonna marry somebody after a day because you fell in love with them?
Yes. Yes.
You can certainly see how its balance of satire and sincerity would inspire future princess-centric films, making Enchanted a crucial turning point in Disney's filmography.
Is this a habit of yours? Falling off of stuff?
Only when you're around to catch me.
2008, WALL-E. The dialogue is often the highlight of any Pixar film, hence why the studio keeps accumulating Best Original Screenplay Oscar nominations. This made WALL-E an especially risky venture, as the titular character's vocabulary is only slightly more varied than R2-D2's. Actually, both robots have sound designer Ben Burtt in common.
WALL-E. WALL-E. WALL-E.
Pixar has never been one to back down from a challenge, though, and WALL-E is a revelation of visual storytelling. We also can't help but wonder if the film is an all-too-accurate glimpse into our future. Whatever the 29th century holds, WALL-E will always be an important cautionary tale about our reliance on corporations and our relationship with the environment.
On the axiom, you will survive.
I don't want to survive! I want to live!
Above all else, however, it will always be a charming love story. 2009, Up.
I like you. Wow.
Two of 2009's best love stories also happen to be animated films. With The Princess and the Frog, Tiana and Prince Naveen continue Disney's tradition of storybook romances.
You just kissed yourself a princess.
And I'm about to do it again.
But the most tear-jerking love story that year was told in a matter of minutes. Yet again, Pixar proved that they don't need dialogue to make a strong emotional connection, telling Carl and Ellie's shared life story through animation, and letting Michael Giacchino's musical score do the heavy lifting. Even after Ellie's gone, she remains a constant presence throughout Up as Carl sets out on the adventure they never had. It's an unforgettable journey full of giant birds, talking dogs, and balloons, but Carl finds that his greatest adventure was the time spent with his true love. (2010) Toy Story 3.
And as the years go by, a friendship will never die.
The 2010s was the decade of nostalgia. Disney would release 2 animated films this year that celebrated the past while also looking ahead to the future. Tangled continued a tradition that started with Snow White, but with a modern mindset.
Here!
Toy Story 3 took every adult in the audience back to their youth. The film especially resonated with those who were Andy's age when the first Toy Story came out and grew up with these characters. Of course, anyone who had a cherished childhood toy can identify with this touching story.
What about you guys? I mean, maybe the attic's not such a great idea.
We're Andy's toys, Woody.
We'll be there for him. Together.
Although the film reminded us why we love this franchise, it also opened our eyes to the importance of change. Toy Story 3 is both a goodbye and the beginning of a new chapter.
So long, partner.
2011, The Muppets.
Well, it sounds like you guys aren't getting back together anytime soon.
This is going to be a really short movie.
But, Kermit, you have to try.
This 2011 film is another prime example of nostalgia done right. After Disney acquired the Muppets franchise back in 2004, the characters were mainly relegated to TV specials, commercials, and online vignettes. It wasn't until they returned to the silver screen that we realized just how much we missed them. While the film pays homage to the original Muppet Show and 1979 movie, it never feels stuck in the past.
I guess if we're gonna go, we better get going. We got a lot of people to find.
Oh, great! But wait, how do we find them?
Didn't you see our first movie? We drive.
The Muppets grow with the times without aging a day, delivering their signature witty comedy, lots of heart, and the catchiest original song since Rainbow Connection. Man or Muppet even won an Academy Award.
I'm a man.
Whether it was a nostalgic throwback or your introduction to the Muppets, the film is simply impossible to dislike.
Someday we'll find it, the Rainbow Connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me.
2012, Wreck-It Ralph.
I mean, I'm very good at what I do. Probably the best I know. The thing is, fixing is the name of the game. Literally, Fix It Felix Jr.
Disney produced it, but Wreck-It Ralph could easily be mistaken for a Pixar film. Like Toy Story, the film revolves around a world within a world, taking us inside arcade games. Beyond its modern setting, the film's humor, characters, and themes all felt in sync with the Pixar brand. Pixar, meanwhile, released Brave this year, which felt more like a traditional Disney fairy tale. It was great to see both of these studios experiment with different ideas and genres, but Disney had the best results with Wreck-It Ralph.
Look, the code may say I'm a princess, but I know who I really am, Ralph. I'm a racer with the greatest superpower ever!
In addition to finally giving us a good video game movie, director Rich Moore delivered a poignant story about friendship, self-esteem, and purpose.
I'm bad, and that's good. I will never be good, and that's not bad. There's no one I'd rather be than me.
Funnily enough, Vanellope and fellow Princess Merida would meet in Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Ach, lang me your lumdy can me a moose near Lee, you'd gone away a teardrop in his eye. Hey, she back me, lassie!
Uh-huh. What did she just say?
We don't know. We can't understand her. She's from the other studio.
2013, Frozen. Brave was another turning point for Disney princesses, putting an emphasis on family over romance. Frozen took this one step further, though, telling a meaningful tale about sisters. The audience is immediately drawn in by the bond between Anna and Elsa. Even when the two are separated, we always feel the connection between them. It's that strong connection that drives the narrative, culminating with a wise message about what true love is.
You sacrificed yourself for me? I love you.
An act of true love will thaw a frozen heart.
Along the way, we're treated to captivating songs and a winter wonderland of warmth.
Let it go, when I rise like the break of dawn.
The film also picked up where Enchanted left off, poking fun at the conventions of past Disney movies.
I got engaged, but then she freaked out because I'd only just met him, that day, and she said she wouldn't bless the marriage.
Wait, you got engaged to someone you just met that day?
Yeah, anyway.
Rather than venture into satire territory, though, Frozen naturally weaves its self-aware commentary into a story that's pure Disney magic. 2014, Maleficent.
I am not afraid.
Then come out.
Then you'll be afraid.
We know we said no MCU movies, but that doesn't mean we can't give the animated Big Hero 6 a shout out. Just as Disney distributed a slew of Marvel movies in the 2010s, this was also the era of their live-action remakes. While the results have been mixed, we've gotten a few gems like Cinderella, which came out in 2015.
They're all looking at you.
Believe me, they are all looking at you.
Maleficent stands out from the others for a few reasons. For starters, it wasn't just a shot-for-shot retelling of the 1959 classic Sleeping Beauty. Taking a page from Wicked, the film shifts the focus to the so-called Mistress of Evil, with Angelina Jolie exquisitely cast in the role.
Hello, Godmother. Hello, Beastie.
The change may have divided critics, but Maleficent became an audience favorite, winning the People's Choice Award for Favorite Movie. 2015, Inside Out. Pixar had already given emotions to toys, cars, and robots, so it was only a matter of time until they made a movie about emotions incarnate.
Or we did, till I moved away.
Hey, what gives?
What?
Hey, Sadness, you touched a memory? We talked about this.
Taking place in the head of 11-year-old Riley, Inside Out revolves around her core emotions, primarily joy and sadness. This setup allows the filmmakers to let their imaginations run wild like never before. Just as the human mind is multifaceted, Inside Out works on more than one level. While kids can identify with the basic feelings taking center stage, adults can pick up on the more layered jokes, concepts, and morals.
Oh no, these facts and opinions look so similar.
Don't worry about it. Happens all the time.
No matter the age group, the film reminds us that you're never too old for a good cry. On that note, have a box of tissues nearby.
Come here.
2016, Moana. Disney Animation once again proved that they can do it all in 2016, balancing the old and the new. With Zootopia, they turned in a timely allegory for prejudice, profiling, and acceptance.
No matter what type of animal you are, from the biggest elephant to our first fox, I implore you, try to make the world a better place.
With Moana, Ron Clements and John Musker of The Little Mermaid return to the sea for another animated musical.
See the line where the sky meets the sea, it calls me, and no one knows how far it goes.
Instead of adapting an established fairy tale, however, the two drew inspiration from Polynesian mythology and culture to tell an original story. Moana is a timeless tale executed with cutting-edge technology, giving personality to the ocean and hand-drawn tattoos. Meanwhile, Auli'i Cravalho and The Rock breathe life into Moana and Maui.
You know, Maui is the hero to all. You're doing great.
What? No, I'm here to...
Oh, of course. Yes. Maui always has time for his fans.
With a songwriting team that includes Lin-Manuel Miranda, the music possesses a distinctive sound that calls to your thirst for open sea adventure. 2017, Coco.
We don't know where...
Death has been a staple of Disney movies ever since Bambi lost his mother. In Coco, Pixar explores life after death through a Dia de Muertos lens. Although there comes a time when everybody must pass, Coco leaves us with a comforting notion. As long as we remember our loved ones, their spirits will live on forever. There are many ways for a person to immortalize their memory, but music is a universal language that speaks to all generations.
No matter how far apart we were, what I wouldn't give to sing it to her one last time. Remember me.
The song Remember Me plays an essential role in this film, encouraging people to listen closely to the lyrics, as well as each other. You may find a deeper meaning than you did before. All you need to do is open your ears, mind, and heart.
Till you're in my arms again. Remember me.
2018, Mary Poppins returns. 54 years later, Disney broke out the umbrella for another magical musical. Julie Andrews doesn't return, but Emily Blunt shines as a Mary Poppins that's all her own.
It is wonderful to see you.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
While the performers all bring something fresh to the table, the filmmakers take meticulous steps to lovingly recreate the spirit of the original classic. They do so with toe-tapping songs, a dazzling animated segment, and Dick Van Dyke in a clever cameo.
As you...
In addition to Mary Poppins, this sequel also possesses echoes of Bedknobs and Broomsticks, with a trip to the beautiful Briny, a creative action climax, and Angela Lansbury. Although it's hard to top the original classic, watching Mary Poppins Returns feels like finding something you've long misplaced.
Nothing's gone forever, only out of place.
2019, Frozen 2. On the animation front, Disney hasn't always had the best reputation for sequels. Frozen 2 isn't a phoned-in, straight-to-video affair, however, but rather a darker second chapter that expands upon the character development, world-building, and themes of the first.
Promise me we do this together, okay?
I promise.
While it's debatable if it's better than the original, you can see how far the animation has come in just 6 years. The film notably won an Annie Award for its animated effects. Once again, the film's soundtrack burrows its way into your head, guaranteeing you'll break out singing Into the Unknown and show yourself on occasion.
Show yourself! I'm no longer traveling. Here I am, I've come so far.
With a message of self-love at its core, the Frozen franchise is maturing well with its audience, and we can only hope Frozen 3 is on the way.
Oh, I love happy endings. I mean, I presume we're done. Or is this putting us in mortal danger situation gonna be a regular thing?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. 2020, Soul.
Sorry, I zoned out a little back there.
Joe Gardner, where have you been?
Pixar has always asked profound questions about our existence, but Soul digs especially deep. The film is about the meaning of life, the will to live, and how just one soul can make all the difference.
Help! I'm not done! Holy! Oh my goodness!
That all sounds very heavy-handed, and Soul does indeed go to some powerful places. At the same time, the film is rich with the comedy, charm, and creativity we've come to associate with Pixar. While kids will love it, this is another Pixar film that'll arguably appeal even more to adults. For any middle-aged person who feels unfulfilled, Soul serves as an important reminder that whatever happens, your life matters. So, make the most of every last moment you have on Earth.
Is all this living really worth dying for?
This video is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.